So this is the first brooch I'm putting together. What I have is a series of Suffolk puffs or yo-yo flowers, and I was inspired by a picture on Pinterest. I'll put who it was on the screen. I'm not making it well, I don't know exactly how she made hers, but I'm sort of, using it as inspiration, the picture I saw, and doing it my way, I guess. And so what I've done is I've started stitching, and this was the first one I've stitched, and I've stitched it on a layer of batting and then just a scrap of damask fabric. I started halfway around the little Suffolk puff, and I stitched half down, and then I laid the next one over and stitched that down. And I thought I would just show you how I do that. So I have stitched, this Suffolk puff has been stitched around here, and so I'm just stitching it to the batting now. And these stitches won't be seen, but you still don't want them really big. And I'm taking it right to the end of the batting there. Then when I get to there, I'm getting my last one, and it could be the second one, the third one, but this happens to be my last one. And I'm just going to lay that over the top like that, and this will tell me whether I've judged it correctly or not. And I may have to do a bit of trimming in there, under there on my circle, as you see. Okay, well, we might do that now. I'm not going to cut that. And although that's invisible stitch to the damask, that's quite alright that I cut those threads. Okay, let's see if that's a little bit better. That's much better, because I didn't know how big it was going to be. I can pop a little pin in there to hold it in place, like that. Actually, I could move it over just a little bit more, like that, just so it looks a little bit more even. It doesn't have to be perfectly even at all. So here's my thread. This is where I ended. Usually these ones all I could place at the same spot, because I'm filling in a gap here. I'm just going to take that thread under and up here where they join, and then I'm going to just, and I've left all the threads in the middle there because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. And then I'm just going to stitch this one down on top of the last one. And I think the inspiration photo, they were a bit looser than this, but I don't want it to be exactly the same sort of thing. It's only inspiration. Okay. And then I can stitch this all the way around, which is what you would normally do, and then lay the next one over the top. But because this is the last one, there'll be no more layering over the top for this. So I'll just take that pin out now. And they're not attached at the top here, because when I do the back I'll attach them there. I'll just take that back through the back now to finish it off. Okay, so they're all attached. Like that. Then I have a different colour one here for in the middle. Like that. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing in the middle, as I said before, so I've left the threads. I don't know if I'll be using them or not. I might just do a couple of little French knots with them and take them through. Or actually what might be a good idea is to take them through and, you know, it's another way of attaching them. I might do that now actually, because just to hold it in place nicely. I just use this large needle, that might work. So that looks fairly even. I can just thread that one through. And maybe do a stitch at the back there. Release it, and then the other, and I might do that on all of them, just thread them through the back and secure them to the back. That way the centers of them aren't going anywhere, are they? Ooh, that might be hard. It's only a short thread and a big needle. Should be all right. Okay, so that one and that one can be knotted off on the back there. Like that. Finish that off, and I think I will thread all the others through. Yeah, that'll secure them nicely to the back. Then I'll come back and stitch this center one down as well. So I stitched it all down, and now I'm just going around the Suffolk puffs with a running stitch. I did 2 rows in the center piece there. After stitching it down around the edge, and now I'm going around the outer ones. I'm just doing 1 little row of running stitch just to anchor them to the back, plus it gives it a nice look. So I'm just on to the last one now, and don't worry too much about this backing. That's just there to give me something to stitch into. That is not how the back will be. I don't think. I haven't got that far yet. So I'm just doing a running stitch about half the distance in the middle of that. So between there and there I'm doing a running stitch. You could do it in a brighter colour if you wanted to see it more. I'm keeping this fairly neutral. My style for this is a lot more restrained than the original picture that I saw on Pinterest, because we all have our own style. The one I saw on Pinterest is much more free-flowing. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's you know, it's not really my style. As much as I love it, I probably wouldn't wear it that free-flowing, but I would wear something like this, a little bit more restrained, and that's, you know, because we're all individual, aren't we? Okay, so they've all been stitched on, so I'll finish that up on the back. Now I'll need to trim the back. I still have to put something on it, but it's not quite ready. Do I have to trim it all at the moment? I don't want it fraying away to nothing. I might just use this bottom edge as the bottom of my flower. That might be easier at the moment, because I have this. This is just a piece of fabric that was cut. I don't know what the size is. Let me have a look. Oh, hang on. My arm is still a little bit sore. Okay, so that's 1 inch. And I folded it in half, and then I folded both sides over, and then I have folded it again like that, and I'm going to stitch that together, and that will be the stalk of my flower, like that. I'll probably take it right to the center. I think that's where yeah, like that. Little stalk will be stitched, and then I have another little piece here. All this is a circle of fabric. Oh, I've done that the wrong way. That's inside out. I wonder if that's going to matter. I don't think it will, because it's the leaf anyway. It's a circle of fabric folded in half, and then a gathering stitch along. So basically I got a circle. I can't remember what I used for my circle before. Oh, maybe I used that. Maybe I just used this lid. So I have a circle. And then you fold it in half like that, and then what have I got threaded? Okay, I can use this one. And then you just do a running stitch along this edge. I'm just going to go back on that just to anchor it a little bit better. Okay. Then you do a running stitch along here. I'm trying to keep it up so you can see what I'm doing, but it's not always the easiest way to stitch something. I'm used to having it down here, that way you can rest your finger on it while you do your stitches, but you know. Very awkward up in the air. Okay, so we've come to the end, and it's got the running stitch all the way along, or gathering stitch, and you just pull it like that, and that makes a little leaf shape, see? I wonder if it was the same size. It looks like it was. It's just pulled tighter there. So if you do that and then hold on to it like that, and that's why you kind of need a double thread. Just finish it off on this end with a knot first. And then kind of take a couple of stitches going through. Yep. I'll pull it tight in. I used a different needle with the other one, and I could go right through. Anyway, so you end up with a little leaf shape, and that's going to go there like that. I think the outside, I'm going to back it with a bit of this darker fabric as well, and maybe have it just showing a little bit in a frayed manner, which might soften it up. So let me just finish that off there. Okay, don't know, maybe I did do it the right way. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can use either of those now, but what I'm going to do is stitch up my stem. I'm not sure I want the bottom all frayy, but if I leave the edge of that all frayy, that will be alright. So maybe I will. Ooh, I'm going to live dangerous. Okay, now you can just do a whip sort of stitch, or you can do a ladder stitch. And ladder stitches, I haven't used this very often at all. Ladder stitch, you go in along one side like that, and then come to the other side and go take a stitch going through the fabric down a little bit, and then you pull it and it closes it up like that. Better make sure I'm in shot there. So I'm on this side here. I'm going to go in the other side, take it down a little bit, coming out, and that pulls them together, and I need to rethread my needle. I'm going to do that all the way along the edge and attach it to the back of my flower. Okay, so I have stitched that and I've attached it to the back. Now I'm going to trim this damask fabric up. I'm just going to cut it around without cutting any threads. like that. And then what I thought, I don't know how it's going to look, but I've got this fabric. My arm is still sore, so it's getting better, but it's still a bit hard to maneuver things around sometimes. Okay. So like that. So if I stitch this to the back, then I can trim around it and fray the edge. That might be the way to do it. Okay. So maybe just a couple of little pins to hold that. I might move it up just a little bit so I've got plenty of extra around the border. Yeah. Like that. And go ahead and just slip stitch that to the back. That also covers up the workings on the back as well. Then I'll come back. Alright, that's all stitched down. I'm going to get my sharp little scissors and I'm just going to, I don't know if this is going to work or look any good, but I'm just going to cut around the shape, leaving a little border. I'm not quite sure how this fabric frays either. Okay. So that's the back. And that's the front. And I just kind of want to rough the edges up a little bit. That should work. I think that helps to soften it just a little. Which might be a little bit hard to see without a background. Yeah, I kind of like that. And I just had a thought for the leaf because I was still unsure about that. But I'm thinking maybe I can do it here. I'm just trying not to waste too much fabric. Actually, we'll do it the other way. Actually, could have made it a larger square, stitched it and then cut it, but I didn't, so Okay, let me just pin that in the center, like that, and I could stitch it and then fray the edges to match this, maybe a little bit lower down. I'm just wondering, I might need another piece of fabric. See, that was easy to hold and do that. I might need another little piece of fabric just for weight inside of it. Okay. Actually, I will cut that in a bit of a square. Like that. I'm sorry, I'm just holding it up to the light so I can line them up together. I think I've got it the wrong way around after all that. That looks a bit better. Okay. Okay, so we've got those lined up. And what I'm going to do is stitch a running stitch around the edge, just leaving a little border, and probably just some straight stitches up the center of it, and then trim the white off. I think that's what I will do. And just my white crochet thread that I've been using. So I wasn't going to do a tutorial on this. I was just going to make the brooch and show you, but I felt like doing something. I feel like I haven't done a lot on camera lately. Probably because of my arm. Okay, yeah. So, I might just about there. Hide that little knot in there. And then just take a nice little, it doesn't have to be a big one. Oh, I haven't got a very good needle for this. Damask for some reason is just a little bit tough to get through at times. The little running stitch will stop it from fraying away altogether, which is not what I want. Plus we're meant to be doing a bit of slow stitching, and so I've done the running stitch in there and I'm doing it here as well. We're just meant to be making a wearable, aren't we? I don't wear jewellery really at all. I don't wear bracelets. I wear a ring. Occasionally, if I remember, I put my engagement ring on too. I still haven't found my wedding ring, so but this is doing a good job. So, okay. But. And I don't wear earrings. And I thought, oh, I can't make, a necklace because I just wouldn't wear it. but a brooch I will, especially in winter when you've got like heavier jackets and things on, or cardigans or whatever. It's nice to pop a brooch on it. I've got a couple of vintage brooches I like to wear, or to hold a scarf, you know, a brooch to hold a scarf in place or something like that. But in summer I wear lightweight jackets, so it might be nice to have a brooch to put on that. A bit more decorative. Right. Okay. I also have to attach it to the stalk. So I wonder if I should double it. No, it might make it a bit too heavy if I double it. I'm just going to take a big one all the way to that end, like that. And then, actually I might just take a little stitch. And just a couple coming down, maybe. One there. Put it there, like that, maybe. That'll work. Like that. One there. Like that. Should I put another one? Maybe I'll put another one. About there. There. Didn't really need another one, but like that. Now let's just tuck that out of the way and trim around there. Just trying to keep that thread out of the way. Okay. And now I can just scruffy the edge up just a little bit, like that. But it's got some substance to it with having the other fabric in the middle. Okay. And that on there, like that. I think the lady who did the one that I was inspired by, might just do an extra stitch there. It put a little button on hers, but because I've got a button here, I don't particularly want another button. It might look a bit odd, so I'm just going to leave it about like that. That's alright, isn't it? So, just going to have to do a couple of good stitches here. Perhaps. Oh, but I could put a couple of stitches at the back as well. I think that might be a good idea. I can kind of flip that over and do a couple of stitches in the back there to hold it into place. That might be a better idea, because I can't like that. If I put a pin in it like that, it will hold it where I want it. And can't. It's a bit thick. That's all I want to do. Oh, hang on. Here we go. I can just do a bit of an overcast stitch at the back here, because you won't see that. I hope. Oh, that's fine. I'll just finish it off there, because I can't go beyond the running line because it might fray out to there over time. There we go. Now I have to find a brooch back. I hope I've got one. Okay, I'm allowed to have a bit of fraying. That's the whole purpose, but that one annoys me a bit. Okay. Okay. So now I just need to get a brooch back. Well, I found some brooch backs. They're only small. It took a while. I thought I had more, but I had to really go digging deep for these. So they're quite sturdy though, which is nice. Some of them are very flimsy, and these are quite sturdy. Like, they're nice and stiff, and the metal is nice and strong. So they should be fine. So I just need to stitch those there, and there's 2 holes in them. So I will double over my thread. For this one. I'm trying to teach Fifi not to be all over the desk, because I don't get anything done really if she's too much over everything. As sweet as she is, I still want to do things. Okay. And I'm not sure if there's a right and wrong way direction to sew these on. I kind of just held it up against me. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have to do it that way, aren't I? Okay, I'm going to loop it that way. Yes, I held it up against me and decided that's probably the right direction for me. Like, perhaps if you were left-handed, it might work differently. I don't know if it makes a difference. that's nice and strong. So I'll move over to this one now. And then I want to keep it fairly straight. Okay. She's getting comfy over there now. Good. She's getting bigger, so she takes up quite a lot of room on my desk when she lays on it now. Oh, I didn't even... I missed that completely. That's silly, wasn't it? Okay. Oh, it's a struggle. There. There, I think that's on nice and tight. Something more over that side, I think. The holes only hold so many stitches. Might be a bit easier. Okay, it's straight. No, hang on, open. Which way does it open? That way, okay. There, got it. Might have to buy some new brooch backs. They'll have to do. It's what I've got, so. There. One brooch done. I'm just going to test it on myself for a minute, make sure I can do it up and undo it. It works. Just going to go and have a look. So it does work, which is nice. And when I looked at it, I thought, you know, you could almost, they're good brooch backs, but they're a bit fiddly because they're so small, but they're nice and strong. I actually thought when I saw it on, You could do a smaller one and have 2 brooches. Just a smaller one, perhaps like one larger Suffolk puff with a little button in the center and a small stem. I just think it would look, you could do that because it's not over the top. So that's something to think about. But there's one brooch. So I'm going to go ahead and have a little play and make some more brooches and see what I come up with, and I'll show you what I've done at the end. Alright, I'm back. That is the first one, and I did make another one using just a single Suffolk puff. I put the same little border as I did on this brooch, but it's a circle, same little stalk, just a different size, and that's the back there. And I think they're quite sweet. You could wear them as a pair, you could attach them to a bag, you could wear them by themselves as well. You could even pop them on the front of a journal if you wanted to. Before I packed up though, I made another one, and this is based on one that I made for Anne's 52 tags. I made a little brooch on one of the tags, and I used one of the fabric rosettes as a base. For those that have been crafting for some times, may have a little stash of rosettes because they were quite popular at one time, and then they kind of fell out of favor, as things do. This is a way to use them. You just use them as a backing flower, and then I've put 3 fabric circles on top. The first one is just left plain. The second one I have blankets stitched to the first one, and the third one I've just done a little running stitch around it to attach it. I've used a mother of pearl button, but I flipped it over and used the other side, the wrong side, because it looked so pretty and the colours just went lovely with this little brooch. That's the back of it. I've put a little bit of linen. For some reason this rosette had some red mesh behind it, but I've trimmed it down as far as I could, and you don't see it from the front anyway. And then I just did a running stitch in a spiral motion to the center, and then attached my little brooch back. And that is, I only had 4 brooch backs, and I've used 3 here, and I have made another brooch, but it's totally different to these ones, so I'm going to show that in a different video. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I know it's long, I do apologize for that, but you can't get away with that with, you know, shorter ones. Sometimes things do take time, and people like to see different parts of the process. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like my little brooches. Very simple actually, and very simple stitching involved in it as well. But it was fun to make wearables this month. So I hope you enjoyed that. Take care. And I'll put the links to Rachel and Sarah's channel in the description box below. So take care everybody. Bye.